I'm your polio chair, so let's get it on. In 2020, we had 139 cases of the wild polio virus. They're only left in 2 countries in the world, Afghanistan and Pakistan. And it's not the whole country, it's small pockets in those countries that still have the wild polio virus. Think about it. This past year, Afghanistan had 56 cases of the wild polio virus. Pakistan had 83. That's not that many for 139 cases. If I take you back to 1988 when we first started this, we had 350,000 cases a year. Think about it, that's huge. That's almost 1,000 cases a day. But 2020 hit, and what came with 2020? COVID. And everybody told was to go home. They told the vaccinators to go home. So the children in Afghanistan and Pakistan couldn't be vaccinated. In an article in the Wall Street Journal, Bill Gates was stated he thought we'd push this back a year because we couldn't vaccinate the children. I hope not. Because we need these children to be free of polio for the rest of their lives. In that article in the Wall Street Journal, it stated that people are not having the vaccine because it's the will of God if my child gets polio and is paralyzed. That makes me shiver every time I see that. And then one person says, why should we trust you Americans? You burn our Quran, our religious book, and now you expect us to understand that, oh, you're good people. No, we have to work with them and make them happy. You see, in 2020 was a good year, but we've had a lot of bad things. So hopefully 2021 is a better year. So let's get to 2021. We've had 1 case of polio this year, just 1. And I'm so thrilled about that. But it's a false number. You see, we're only into February, and by district conference, I'm sure that number's going to go up a little bit. Because you see, polio is spikes in the summer and spring and fall months because we come together. How many of you go to a neighbor's house for a barbecue, a cookout in January when it's 23 degrees? Nobody. The Pakistanis and Afghanistans don't do it either. That's the reason we need to understand that's when the numbers may go up. But with your help, we'll get there. Now, I'm going to show you the ladies of Pakistan. They stopped in 2020 giving the vaccine. They started back in September because we're trying to stop the world from having polio. What you don't see in this picture is the soldier outside that's escorting her because the vaccinators have been killed before. And I think the ladies are Rotary and they're ladies of the world. We have to go to the communities that have ladies wear burqas. We have to make them understand we're helping them. We've met with the imams, we've met with the Taliban, and things are getting better for all of us. So hopefully 2021 is a better year than 2020 was. Now, I show you the ladies of Pakistan in hip-deep snow. What a tremendous thing they are, trudging through the snow. I can't understand it because I'm from Georgia. We've never had that much snow. I said ladies, and that's what I want you to understand. It's you ladies that are going into the buildings and their homes to make sure these children are vaccinated. They will not let a male in there. When I went to India a couple of years ago, I didn't go into the homes. I could do it at the door, but they wouldn't accept me in because I'm not a male and their husband was not at home. So I thank that you ladies of Rotary and you ladies of the world for helping us end polio. This year, something good happened. Africa became polio-free. Isn't that amazing? The whole continent is now polio-free, and that's terrific. You Rotarians, I want to thank for what the money you gave to help polio become eradicated in Africa. Thank you. Now, let's get on to Jane Goodall. She says we're this close to ending polio, and we are. And then I look at Jack Nicholas. Did you realize he's a polio survivor? He says we're getting this close. Then we get to Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who says we're this close. You see, there are people all over the world who are helping us get to end polio. Then we get to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and they will match us $2 for every dollar we give. So I'm asking you to give $10 this year to end polio. If you've not given it, it's still time to give it for this year. And I will tell you, I want to ask you next year too. But that $10 is something I want you to understand. With $10, we can eradicate polio and give drops to 100 children. And with Bill and Gates matching us 2 for 1, that $10 turns into 30. Now from 100, we go to 300 children who will never have polio. I want you to do this when you go home. I want you to look around and see your children or grandchildren that might be at your house or their pictures and see your neighbors who have children. Don't you think it's worth 2 cups of coffee from Starbucks to give $10? I know I will, and I hope you will too. Together, we will end polio. Now, your friend of mine, Scott Parmenter.